What is true is that MerKaBa technology belongs to these people. They bought it here, right? That's what I'm saying is Moo has been studying it. She's been working out her own version of reverse engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Our Moo is intelligent. Our Moo knew exactly
Very.
the time in the time-space continuum to act. And, you know, she's brought on her conscious warriors. We're waiting, we're doing. We're reverse engineering the MerKaBa up the yin-yang, baby. You got to know something to fight something. That's the whole point, is that you took them to essence, right?
Yeah.
And from essence, they connected with themselves all the way back, who's very well aware of the MerKaBa technology of the duping, right?
Totally.
And from there, we started the MerKaBa in a neutral place. So the manifestations became neutral, not polarized, which is what they work with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, is that basically the MerKaBa technology took over her or harnessed sentient, connected to source beings for their own purpose? Harvesting, we know that, right? It's just who gets the harvest. Sometimes it's Draco reptoids, nectar. Sometimes it's the people who crave it's all different beings that are keeping this machine going, or that are holding the consent or holding the thing in place.
There we go. Got it.
That's holding this thing in place, right? That's why it's like all you need to do is pull a few pins and the whole fucking house of cards comes falling down.
Yeah.
So what Moose showed me is when we started doing the dragon and standing up and embodying it, right? It's like from that moment, remember you started to it was the omnipotency that began, and that was you just touching in with Moo.
Yeah.
Us touching in with Ra, allowing those codes, the original codes, to begin igniting in you. Because I'm sorry, to just pull it all at once, like I've gone over and over it. Can you do it all in a day? Can you do it all in one sitting? What can you do? At this point in time, we would go into shock.
Yeah, we would go into shock.
Even the best of the conscious warriors, right? So there's a few steps. But as what she's shown me is, as in number 3, when we started to ride Earth's Kundalini and she's come up into us and, well, you know, when you start Ramu Tet, when you fully bring Mu into that sacred center and you fully bring Ra into that sacred center, you know yourself. That was when the soul, like removing the chakra system, that's when the soul...
The soul stuff.
I'll start it again. So you're starting with the Ramu Tet, where you're really pulling, like Mu, you're co-creating with Mu. That's how it really goes. So Mu is affecting your MerKaBa. Your MerKaBa is affecting the big MerKaBa. You're in this world, but not of it.
Okay, yes.
So if you want to affect change, do you think it would be easier to do it from within the machine or from the outside of the machine trying to break in?
Oh, within, of course, within. You know, it's funny, in my ride this morning, I connected to Moo and it's like, just, give me whatever.
Do it.
Yeah, and I saw my MerKaBa and it's like she cleaned it up. It's like the more I brought her in, I could see like, I don't know if it was like a geometry or whatever, but it looked like geometries to me. But it's like with her touching it and her being involved in the whole thing, it's like she erased whatever was fuckery from it. And it just left a spinning field. It didn't have a geometry, it didn't have a coding, it just
when you're saying a spinning field, you said one spinning field. I want you to tune back into it and feel, is it a spinning field or in fact the original spiral?
The fucking spiral.
So
Just
she's
spiral.
engineered the MerKaBa system. Go moo.
Go, mummy! Oh my God.
See, the thing is, what you've got to understand is this tech, from what I got, in our natural way of being up till Atlantis, we didn't have MerKaBas. We didn't need them, right? Because we were multidimensional naturally. Right?
Yeah.
When Atlantis came, when the fall of Atlantis came, it came because we began to look outside of ourselves. See, when we were in Lemurah, it was when I say heart-based, it was what we're going to go back to, natural Earth timeline, right? When we got to Atlan Ra, by the time that happened, we started looking outside of ourselves. The sensation became different. We became different creative beings. I've written it down in that thing. I'll send it to you. But what I mean is our creation became different. And it didn't seem so hard at first. It was like we started to rely on the outside to create, not the inside. And in that moment, there was an opening for Marduk to come in. Right? We were psychically undefended, shall we say. Or we'd laxed it somewhat. And of course, Marduk was so fucking stupid. He got into bed with some bloody, some beings. And those beings were the one that brought this tech here. And that's what enslaved us the most. And that tech has AI behind it.
Fucking MerKaBa.
Fucking MerKaBa. But this is how MerKaBa... So when we say geometries of the new MerKaBa, it was a little bit of a piss take, really. Because what it was when I first felt into it, and I felt into the flower of life as a complete embodiment. And I looked at Metatron's cube, where we started looking at, rather than the chakra system, how not so much it had divided up, but how the elements moved in the oscillating system. Because once we started in 3 bringing all of Mu in and all of Ra in, it's like it stopped being just a little kiss and a pulse, and it was like fucking
yeah, it was on.
like donkey.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, we're all getting off on Rami 10, who fucking wouldn't? Now, all that energy has been used for us.
It's all that energy has been used for us.
And Mother Moo, it hasn't been used for any fucking cabals or siphoned off to any beat warriors, nothing like that. Right? See, when we were anking, that was keeping the energy going through the soul star.
Oh my God, of course.
I mean, that energy hasn't been used for anything outside for quite fucking some time.
Oh my God. And it comes straight from...
Well, feel it yourself.
No, it's just making all sense. It just,
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like qualifying it through the soul star. As it moves through, it retains integrity.
Yeah. So it's like, it's a different way of living. You're living with the earth. It's her prana, her gold, her light, her love. I mean, we've probably got to redefine light here. Light's information. That's why we're talking about this as restoring the light codes, restoring the fucking real information codes. Right? Anyway, back to Moo and her reverse engineering. So what my understanding of MerKaBa technology is in how to create realities, because remember, we've always said it moves through realities, interprets realities, and creates realities. And it does that through the geometry. The geometry they've tried to whack it in is that fucking star
tetrahedron.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's just like, understand, the flower of life is like the perfect physical blueprint. We had a physical life before we were hijacked. It's not that. It's how they've then hijacked us and used our physical template as a
right. Do you think that maybe then, when it comes to the MerKaBa, is it supposed to have a geometry?
Understand, the MerKaBa is part of the matrix.
Oh, okay, yes. Oh my God.
Wait a minute, but do you understand what we're doing is we're mastering matrix technology and reverse
No, I dig it.
engineering it sort of thing. And see, when I sit now and I just sit and I feel the galaxy, there's no screen, there's no end. You know how when we first start the MerKaBa, it's there?
No,
But can you
no.
can you understand that is how they've bounded the infinite?
Yes, I do. I
That
do.
they use that. So yes, it interprets realities because it's the See, the way Moo showed it to me was it was a technology that was kind of starting. It infiltrated Atlantis. People got excited about creating little baby realities, right? You know, I created Temple of Dreams.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. No, no, no. Oh my God. I had this. Oh my God. So Moo, right? Sorry, this is just a light bulb moment. You got to correct me if I'm wrong. So Moo is like naturally able to create her own birds, planets, birds, universes, and shit like that, right?
Correct.
That was their synthetic way of trying to mirror that quality by creating MerKaBa technology.
And trapping her and her inhabitants.
Oh my God.
To fuel it, because hang on a second, you've got to have something to fuel it. What fuels it? Our psychic power.
Yeah. The feminine component.
So remember when we first started cutting away from all the, the traditional MerKaBa shit and moving into all different geometries? That's when I started to see what dimensions had been compromised and what dimensions hadn't. Remember when I first started talking to you about portals and I said, notice how some of the portals have MerKaBas attached to them?
Yes.
Man-made realities or synthetic realities.
Oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Oh, okay. No, that makes sense.
And so today when I was sitting there, because, I really went through Lily Earth stuff. I have a lot of respect for her and I feel that she's coming from her space, right? There's a few things I disagree with her. For example, we feel that the earth was always like this, right? Mm-hmm. And when they did this, it caused a tilt. She's saying Mother Earth did the tilt and doesn't want to go back to straightness. And I'm like, look, don't care. I'm not even going to get into the argument over it because it's pedantic semantics. I'm just staying with what Moo does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like this is where
they
can co-opt it and then they can create a future. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to wait and see what Mum does.
Yeah, no, I'm totally
down
with that.
And if we're in neutral, and in full, space of non-reaction, there's no polarized ups or downs hitting us, keep dragging us back, we should be able to help her power through.
Fuck yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because I dug the thing you said about the time loop. I totally get that. It's like, how does Moo unstick herself from the spiral? See, really, it's all about spirals. Energy moves in spirals, we know that. Moo moves in a spiral through space, but what they've done is they've been able to cut off one of the spirals or join two of the rungs together. So it's a continuous loop. It's not moving on to the next.
See, I'm still confused with the spirals kind of being looped together. I saw. I
know what a spiral? Wait there. Have you got something to wind a spiral around, like a piece of something? So what I suppose, like, say.
Oh my God.
Right. So just pretend this is around my. Can you see it around my finger?
Yeah.
See how that's a spiral? Would you agree that's a spiral? So each time that's us moving through space, Moo upright moving through space, right? But what's happened is two of those spirals have joined. So it never gets to move to the upper spiral. Oh, reconnecting. I'm saying in light code 1, when we start that MerKaBa, right, it's not connected to any fucking school. It's not connected to that. It's starting a field around you that helps you to disengage from the soup, if you will. and start to take control of your
Yeah.
experience in the suit. You've realised this. So by the time you get to light code 3, it's like you're riding Moo's energy by then. You know that. You're completely in symbiosis with Moo. She's co-creating through you. So this is the way she's been able to infiltrate their suit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I get it.
Not so much you've got to beat him to join him, but basically she's understood the technology and now she's reverse engineering it.
It's kind of like the...
Well, this is being in the world but not of it.
Right.
See, if you in the first fucking session decided to pull the chakra system, etc., I just think it wouldn't work. Secondly, what we've seen is by understanding the MerKaBa technology, you can reverse engineer it yourself and they can't use it against you.
Right. Right.
Right?
Yeah, so it's just all...
So I'm saying to you, this is the other thing. See, up until Atlantis, we're going along. It's all great, right? And Marduk had his little fucking SPAC attack and he basically got into bed with the people who bought this technology here. He didn't know it was going to do this, trust me. I mean, he's as fucking dumb as the rest of them. We've all been manipulated in that sense.
Yeah, totally.
Jointed, but basically I'm saying in Light Code 1, you learn how to manage the matrix.
Yes.
You start your own vehicle in the matrix, right? By Light Code 2, you're really starting to pull away from the soup. By Light Code 3, you've built enough fire and light, like you've built enough structure that when you pull that system, the old one, or the real one, comes online like that. There's no faltering, there's no giant fucking, it's a joy, grace and ease ecstatic experience. It's not something that you have to, integrate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Dig it.
But what I'm saying is, I said to Moo, why? Why did I have to go through that MerKaBa experience? Why did I have to go through that school? Why are we learning it? What is it for? And she said really clearly, to reverse engineer it. And when it happened, I swear I had a whiteout. My heart, the centre of myself completely exploded. It was such a yes. And even Johnny went, Jesus. I went, but it went for about a minute, this full, fucking bang on. So I knew in that moment what it was for. Why she'd done it, how it had worked. Why learn it? And that's why she's been showing us the corrupt ways and the non-corrupt ways. There's nothing wrong with MerKaBa technology, it's just it got out of hand. Like anything, when it falls into the wrong hands. So, we're talking, I say, Light Code 1, it's like you start to get your own experience inside the matrix. It's like you start to separate from the big MerKaBa and make conditions of your own. But see, as you're doing that, what you're doing is you're disentangling yourself from everything. That's the other thing. To pull it in one go, there's a lot of agreements, a lot of vows, a lot of contracts, a lot of reasons you said yes and allowed the co-op. So that's another reason, almost you take over your experience in the matrix. You take it from them and then you take back your experience.
Well, it would be too much of a shock to do it all in one go. Because
it might not be later on down the track, but right now at this point in time, it fucking is. I don't know.
To pull it all in one go would be a shock.
Oh yeah, well I think it would be, but that's at this time. Yeah. That's at this time. Who knows what it's going to be like this time next year, if there is a next year? Who knows what it's going to be like? It might all happen at once, but all it needs to happen for her to put her little virus into their MerKaBa is only a few people to know it. That's all it... In fact, really, it only needs is one.
Because it can make quite the impact.
Well, if you do it right and you do it with a full Ramu tech, creating a reality, there can be a reality where, for example, they don't exist.
That's all you need.
But you can't do that until you disentangle yourself. And that's part of the
Well, it's like a,
that's part of the self-healing, you know?
well, it's part of it's like a detox, basically.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It's like a big, fat old detox.
But the other thing I was trying to say is about how the crust displaces, right? That's what she's saying they're trying to go for, the Hapgood theory. A pole shift with a crust displacement. And I'm saying when Moo writes herself, right, she won't write herself like this and then bring the crust with her. She'll do it all at once. There'll be no... It doesn't need to be disasters. Not when Moo's got a hold of the hologram. See, they've had the hold of the hologram for quite some time. Moo's back in charge.
Wow. So she's going to do everything in like perfection. She'll do everything
like
the way she wants to do it.
We don't know what perfection looks like. It's probably going to be the exact opposite of what we think because they would have...
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, co-opted our minds into this is paradise, is it? Well, most people think paradise is having $1 million in the bank, and that's $1 million worth of debt, really, isn't it? Because there's nothing backing that money. It's debt-based economy. So they can wish, this is what I'm trying to say, that you have to forget what you think it's going to look like and go with what it feels like. And let Moo, who then is in charge with you of the co-creation.
Yes.
You know, this is her show, for Christ's sakes. She knows what's going on and she remembers.
It's just the gravity of how Moo has everything under control. That's the thing that's really sinking in for me. Like, I mean, I knew that having that connection was really sort of a lot of the key to everything writing itself.
Because we've been
but to the degree of which it's happening.
Even when you first start working with some people and you go, okay, so connect with Mother Earth, they look at you like you got two fucking heads. It's such a foreign concept. Yet that should be our very first thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
The more you connect with Moo, the less it will be affecting you. You know, well, no, that's not true. The more you connect with Moo, the more you've got a chance to grab your own fucking experience of the reality and work with her.
Oh my God. Yeah. It just to connect with her is out of the soup in itself. You don't even need a MerKaBa. It's like as soon as you're in her, it's like...
But eventually maybe you won't need a MerKaBa. But what my understanding and my experience of it has been, in order to make an effect in the hologram, you've had to enter the hologram. That's what and that's why we work with MerKaBa.
It's like...
So,
final piece
what I was going to do in the light code weekend, that one that we're planning, is to take them through that thing where we spiraled out the black cube. And then all the other geometries just flowed from that. Like at the moment, see, they've been able to tap every living thing by using the MerKaBa and their spine. So, you know, in the Matrix, when they pull that thing out of the spine, that's not that fucking far out. Because you need a spine for a MerKaBa.
Of course. Holy crap.
See, this is what I
just all
DNA. Yeah, I know. Isn't it great? So the DNA opening, what's happening with that is Mu and Ra's codes uniting with Essence is now taking the DNA further with the wisdom experience. So it can block out any chance in the future of consciousness invasion.
Wow.
I mean, the buck stops here.